Good evening, YouTube. It is Monday night, which means it's another episode of the Jerry Hinkle program brought to you by Coca-Cola. Life is much more fun and better with Coca-Cola. Didn't have to share this with anyone. What I want to talk to you about today, we talk about life from the beginning, with Rory and all that kind of thing. Let's talk about life from the other end of the spectrum. This past Thursday, my good friend Earl, my coffee drinking buddy, at church, he died from pneumonia and other complications this past Thursday, as I mentioned. And interesting story how we got together, how we met, is that we met at church when we were, at coffee time. The Culvers here in beautiful downtown Mitchell had given away their old tables and chairs to the church, they use them in Johnson Lounge. And the first Sunday that we did that, I was sitting at a table all by myself, like high school, and Earl come along, and he asked if he could join me, and I said I would be delighted. And he was very interesting to talk to. He had a lot of things to say, and I listened while I was sipping on my coffee. And he talked about his World War II experience. He never actually went overseas because he got appendicitis, and he was going to ship out to Guadalcanal, but appendicitis got the best of him. They had to take that out, but he was able to go to electronics school, and that helped him out during the peacetime out here in South Dakota. He wired a lot of houses in the area, and he farmed. He was born in Hanson County, and got married to a real nice gal who her name was Thelma. And I'm not going to give too much of his story away because he's got a right to privacy, and his family probably they would. So I'm just going to leave it alone and just let you know. I'm not going to go with the last name, but just to let you know. And he was a real interesting fella, Earl was, and he will be missed, although he's been in the hospital for quite a while, and I have missed him while he was there, but I'm really going to miss him now. Best part about that whole thing is now he's going to be drinking coffee with Jesus, and that is really, you can't begrudge a fella that. It does seem a little unfair that he's in heaven and we're down here waiting for the peace on earth and goodwill to men. But I'm glad he made it. I'm sure he did. I have all the faith in the world that Earl is in a much better place, serving a much better purpose. Also, this past Saturday, interestingly enough, was his funeral. It was also the day, the 20 years ago, that my grandma Birgit died. And that was a very sad occasion for me as well. As a matter of fact, I was it was kind of an upsetting thing. But similarly, I can't, now, 20 years later, she was nearly 82 at the time. Matter of fact, this next coming up Thursday would be her 102nd anniversary. But it's unrealistic to believe that she would have lived another 20 years after all that she had been through at that time. But it is kind of nice to know that she's at peace, and Granddad's up there, so there probably isn't that much peace. But at least her congestive heart failure and the rest of that. And she had a little bit of pneumonia too, and that's over with. And they're she and Earl and Granddad and all of the relatives who have gone on are free from the pain and all that. And I guess that's a good thing. So we'll just go along with that. And another total thing, it would not be the Jerry Hinkle program if we didn't talk a little bit about politics. And I'm going to talk about Sasha and Malia Obama. I'm going to shock a lot of people by saying that the criticism of them looking disinterested is sort of unwarranted. You got to bear in mind that these are teenage girls. I mean, if I was unfortunate enough to be elected president of the United States and have all that on me, and if I don't have children, but I do have teenage nieces. My niece Brittany is 17. My niece Shelby just turned 14 not too long ago. And if I brought them to a turkey pardoning, they would probably have acted just as disinterested as Sasha and Malia. And I'm sure that there were 1,000 other things that they would have rather been doing than going to this turkey pardoning. And the only reason they was there was because their father was elected president. And at that point in time, they probably wished their dear old dad had gone into another line of work. I'm sure there was a Justin Bieber video or something that they would have rather been watching. But anyhow, so, I just wanted to say, Sasha, Malia, in the event that you do end up watching this, and from what I understand, 24 of you have watched episode 1. I just, before I set up, I looked back, 24 people. Wow. Yeah, that's nearly half the population of Hollybirds. So we're going to work on the other half. Maybe the other half will, or maybe we'll only have 12 people watch this video after watching that one. I'm sure they're mostly relatives of mine. And a couple of folks gave it a like on Facebook. Nobody said anything bad about it, so we'll try to change that. I'm going to purposely screw up this episode somehow, I'm sure, and somebody will have something nasty to say. It's no fun unless someone's insulting you, It's the only way you can improve. Anyhow, like I say, Coca-Cola. I'm going to finish the rest of this Coca-Cola. Thank you for that. And thank you to Coca-Cola for sponsoring this episode of the Jerry Hinkle program. We need a theme song. I'm going to work on that. I haven't, this is the second episode and I have not sung yet. And if I could think of Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things are better with Coca-Cola. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. Coke refreshes you best, it's the refreshingest. Food goes better with, fun goes better with, things go better with Coke. The real live one with extra fun with you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Okay, that's our song. And what else can we do? Well, there's not much else we can do. We've covered just about everything. It's like Grandma's nightgown. We have just about covered everything we can, so I guess the only thing left to do is say, God be with you, do the best you can, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.